Hello and welcome to Crypto Invest TV. I'll be your host, X8, followed by the Underdoge, and today we're going to be starting things a little different. So, some of you might not know that I own a cleaning business, and so earlier this week I was with a client at his dealership, and I have a pretty close relationship with the owners of this dealership, and it just so happens that they had gotten themselves involved with they were involved with crypto in 2017 2018, and unfortunately for them, they bought near or at the top of the market, and so when there was that crash, they were fairly upset, and so they actually ended up pulling out at a loss, unfortunately. Had they have just held on to it, they probably would have done a little bit better, but from what I understand, I think they did pull out some of their funds when that did happen. But one of the owners, I was sitting down and I was talking with him over at his site, and we had happened to notice I had happened to notice that he was you know really negative about crypto more than usual, because generally it's more of a razz, because even to this day they're still invested and they've even put in a little bit more, but not as much as they had initially, from what I'm understanding. But so he seemed like he was a little bit more negative than usual, and so I was like, how's it going? And he was like, man, Doge is going down, and that was because we primarily would talk about that subject, and we briefly spoke on that, and I was like, but I'm not really worried about not only Doge but any of the other cryptocurrencies, just for the simple fact that the market will come back here shortly. I mean, it's just a matter of time, whether it's going to be months or years. We'll see it come back to where it was before. That's just a matter of fact. And you know we we were we you could just tell that he wanted to talk to me about something, and so we were sitting there and we continued the conversation, and then he just came out and he was like, I just none of it's real. It's all a scam. Bitcoin's a scam, Dogecoin's a scam, and that's kind of how he initially had felt about it, which was rather unfortunate, just for the simple fact that if that were the case, I think we would be out we wouldn't have that adoption like we're seeing now. Um, but you know, I asked him. I was like, well, what do you mean by crypto's not real? It's a scam. And I asked him why he thought that, and he was like, well, it's it's just it's not real. It's just numbers on a computer. And I asked him. I was like, well, let me ask you this. What is it that you define as real? You know, when it comes to the U.S. dollar, what makes it any more real than any other currency on top of cryptocurrency? And he's like, well, I can use it for things, and the simple matter is that we can use crypto for many things now. In comparison to years ago, it had less use cases years ago in the regards of I guess, like, physical use cases, making physical purchases. Um, at least back in the day. Now, I mean, we have debit cards. We can quite easily pay for anything that we want, essentially, with Bitcoin or Ethereum, and many other cryptocurrencies. But so I asked him, you're saying that it's not real, it's all a scam, and that there's it's all going to go away, it's all going to go to zero, because there's nothing actually behind it. It doesn't actually exist. And I told him, you know if something doesn't, something only exists whenever it's part of your own perception. And so that's why I want to start this stream with, crypto. Can it be real if you can't touch it? And the reason why is because when it comes to how we perceive reality, it comes down to the matter of our senses. Those five senses is what ends up, helping us navigate through our world. And so what ends up happening is we end up becoming affixed to the traditional form of of what we consider to be reality, which is having something that is physical. And so, we have this construct around the US dollar that makes it tangible, that makes it real, to the perception of the masses. We as a society, as a civilization, that we agree upon the fact that this is a currency, and this is what we use to trade between each other in order to in order to you know either have services or buy a certain type of good. And so what ends up happening is you end up becoming muddled in the you end up becoming muddled in all of it as time's gone on, because in reality, everything is just a concept. And so for you to say something's real or not is really just based upon your own perception. And it's as simple as, would you say that the internet is real or not, right? So if the internet's not real, then how is it that we would be able to use it? How would you be able to interact with it? What would you have to do in order to use it? And so, you know, there comes that point of where reality is kind of a skew of your own perception. And so you take reality, if it's based upon your five senses, and you're sitting in your own room or wherever you're at right now, if you're in an area where you essentially cannot, directly see outside, then you can technically say through perception of your five senses that outside doesn't exist. Currently, the only universe that exists is the room that you're currently in, because based on your perception from your five senses, you can't say that there is anything outside of that room. Now, you obviously know there's something outside of that room based on the information that you have stored within you. You have information stored within, yourself, your brain, your thoughts, and that's how you know that, your car is sitting outside, or that the store is down the road, or that, trees exist or anything like that. The reason why you know that when you go into a building or into a type of location, the reason that you know that everything outside of that exists is based on the knowledge that you previously have. And so that's exactly how the tangibility of objects work, right? So if you take how the construct of money worked before we used the paper currency, people would look at you like you're essentially stupid if you tried to start giving them if you tried to give them resources in paper currency. They're everything that they do is through gold, right? So if they're doing everything through gold, and then you try to give them a piece of paper, and this culture doesn't understand the fact that you use paper, they're going to look at you like you're a fool, because they don't use that. That essentially is worthless to them, and people would think that, oh well, everyone understands about the US dollar, but you have to realize that there's even to this day, there's certain cultures that are actually completely closed off from the outside world, and so they actually have no understanding of really anything outside of their own communities. And I mean this on a very, like, extremely small level. I mean, these, like, they don't use currency to barter between each other the same way that we do. They're not using pieces of paper with some type of leader or your flag on it. What they're doing is they're trading goods between each other, or what they have determined to be their form of currency. So there was actually an ancient civilization. Their form of currency was actually these gigantic stones, and they would actually exchange these gigantic stones. And I mean, when I mean gigantic, I'm talking about some of these stones are the size of a vehicle. And how would you be able to transport, that stone from one town to another? How is it feasible to be a currency? And what they actually ended up doing was, it was essentially off of a trust system. And so basically, if somebody within these communities was extremely trustworthy, and they traded this essentially giant rock with them for some land or title or whatever they wanted within their own culture, it was, by the community, it was trusted that, that held its currency based on the belief of these people's status. And so that's essentially how you have to look at currency as a whole. Currency as a whole isn't, this realistic thing. It doesn't actually exist in your perception of reality. It's just a construct, and then we use materials that we have to represent that construct. You take the US dollar. The US dollar isn't actually a dollar, nor do you even own that dollar. The US dollar is a piece of paper that represents, a currency. And before it was based on the numeral system, it was based on the gold and silver system. And on that system, it was based on the fact that you had this amount of dollars that was a valuation for a percentage of gold and or silver or other rare metals and so on and so forth. And that's what is essentially the U.S. dollar was originally supposed to represent. It was supposed to represent money that was stored through the government that the people all used communally to build our economy. And so we have a construct that this piece of paper is what actually is, like it's actually a tangible thing. But the only thing that makes the U.S. dollar tangible is the fact that we use a material like resource as a piece of representation of currency. And so people have gotten skewed in that notion, that idea that in order for something to have a valuation, in order for something to have any type of value to it, it has to have some kind of physicality to it. And the reality is that you don't need to have some kind of physicality to it in order for it to be real, because we have plenty of things that through your own senses you can't say that it's real. You can't see the Wi-Fi that goes from your router to your computer. You understand that it works. You understand the fundamentals of what Wi-Fi is. But if no one ever taught you the knowledge of Wi-Fi, and then you talked about how this thing called Wi-Fi existed, and they can't see it, taste it, hear it, smell it, or touch it, how are you supposed to tell them that it exists? All right, so now you have to use something. What are you going to use? You're going to use a physical, materialistic, um, form to show them. You're going to use your phone. You're going to use a TV. You're going to use something that connects to the internet to show them how Wi-Fi works. And then you're going to try and explain the internet to that person afterwards, right? So you have to realize that when it comes to cryptocurrency, it's the same principle. In order, if something isn't real, then that means that it was never created. And for the simple fact that something is created, if the idea of something is created, then that means that it exists. And that's how the pattern of everything falls. So you take cryptocurrency. Is it real? Does it exist? Is it an asset that's tangible? And then you take, well, is the internet tangible? Is the internet something that exists? Is it something that you can use? Is it an asset of a certain type? And the answer right now for everyone is, yeah, of course. I use the internet. Everyone uses the internet. So the internet is a reality to people because we all use it. We all have the same social construct, the same idea, the same agreements on this one particular thing. And so now that thing actually exists. So if you go before the internet, would you say that anyone would have ever believed that there was a way for people to communicate across the world without having to use some of their physical means of doing that? And people initially at that time wouldn't have thought so, but guess what? Somebody initially did. Somebody knew that there was a way to do it. And so, they were like, I'm sure if I use the current technology that we have and try to understand how its fundamentals work and how I can manipulate those fundamentals to add into what I'm thinking about, that's how you end up getting innovation. So to say that something's not real just because it's currently, or just because something's not in a tangible format, you're essentially saying that you don't believe in innovation and that you don't believe in yourself existing. Because if you're going to say that something that's technically not tangible, that someone created, doesn't exist, just because you personally don't have the ability to understand its tangibility, then you and yourself are saying that you technically don't exist because you didn't create yourself. You're actually just a representation of your parents. You as an individual don't actually exist. You're just a representation of your parents. And obviously you would completely disagree with that. You are who you are. You are an individual. All right. So just because something is created by someone else and then understood later on by many doesn't mean that just because before it's understood by many beforehand doesn't mean that it's real. Think about all the scientific achievements that we've made throughout history. Are you going to say that those that didn't happen? Are you going to say that, we didn't, that none of those things happened? If what would our world be like today if we had never understood gravity? What would our world be like today if we had never understood you know the fact that we lived in a solar system, that we revolved around the sun? How different would our world be today if people didn't decide to think outside of the box and make change? So when people come around and they say things like, "Oh, crypto's not real, it's a scam, it's fake, Bitcoin's going to go to zero along with all the rest," they're still living in the past, because from their perception of reality, that is not a tangible object or asset to them. It's not tangible because they don't understand it, and they're choosing to keep themselves closed off to it because they're essentially afraid of what they don't understand. And that's one of the big things about when it comes to innovation, is that innovation can be, a scary thing. But if it wasn't for people pushing forward and trying to go and achieve these goals and trying to go forward with innovation and try to, make the world better essentially, then we wouldn't be where we're at today. The only reason why any of us can enjoy the things that we enjoy right now is because of others. If it wasn't for others taking that step and in believing in something that others and many did not believe in, then we wouldn't be where we are today. So many amazing and great things that have happened for the world would never have happened if select individuals didn't believe in something, you know, when when everyone else didn't. No one believed that we would go to the moon. No one believed that, we could send satellites out as far as we've sent them. No one believed in those years and years and years ago. There wasn't the belief for it. No one believed in it. But now it's like it's almost an obvious thing, and now we're talking about trying to go and become a multi-planetary species. But yet crypto's not real because it's an internet based asset. But yet, a huge portion of the world today spends a huge amount of their life on the internet. But for some reason, crypto crypto as a tangibility isn't recognizable to some. So you kind of have to look, you have to look through yourself and ask yourself on whether or not you believe that, you know crypto is real. Look at yourself, look at everything that's around you, and tell yourself, if other people didn't believe in XYZ of whatever it is that you're currently debating about, then where would we be now, and why is it that I should believe in that? And that's not to say that go and believe in every single project of any kind, whether it's a physical, tangible one, or a one that's based on the internet. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is that if you believe in something and you understand it, if everyone around you is saying that, you're a fool, but you actually have the true understanding of what it is that you're doing, then realistically you should be ignoring that. And that's essentially how I wanted to start this off. Is I just want everyone to take a step back and think about whether or not you consider cryptocurrency to be a real tangible asset, or if it's, something that's not. And if you think that it's something that's not, then you need to go and delve deeper into it. If it's something that you're going to invest in. If you don't truly believe in it, you shouldn't be investing. You don't invest in things that you don't believe in, because that's how you end up getting yourself hurt.
Look,
If you don't believe in it, then that's how you can end up damaging yourself. If you invest in something that you don't believe in just because one of your friends said to, and there's no actual, like, there's no reasoning for it. You don't have any kind of research for it, and neither does that person. They're just currently invested because they believe in it, and then it tanks. You blame that other person because they told you to invest into it, but it's your decision to do that. And so if you don't believe in something, then you can't sit here and say that that you truly invested, because to invest in something means that you believe in it. That's the whole point of invest. Whenever you're invest doesn't just mean when it comes to money, and that's not what investing is. You can invest yourself in many things. I'm going to invest myself in becoming a computer programmer. I'm going to invest myself in becoming the CEO of an EV company, or I'm going to invest my time into making my yard look nice. So investment is about you doing something that you believe in. So if you don't believe in something, then you're not truly investing in it.
what I wanted to say is that, um, first off, great way to start off. Second is that cryptocurrency is very much real. And the reason why I say that is because pretty much, all right, the way that cryptocurrency is created is by solving computer algorithmic puzzles, right? And in order to achieve that, it has to, obviously solve the puzzle in the correct manner. Now, when people sit back and they use their brain a little bit, think about this in a much broader perspective. Look at life as that instance. Okay, um, life is just a bunch of us pretty much running around trying to solve a puzzle, right? We're trying to put the pieces together to create the puzzle that we want to build, right? If you want to look at it that way. And so when people say crypto isn't real, kind of blows my mind, because a lot of the people that say that crypto aren't isn't real are people that have graduated, been through algebra, calculus, all this stuff, right? And so what really blows my mind about that is that that's how life works too. Not just life, like I was talking about, but life. The inner workings of life. Um, the way our bodies work, the way the planets work, the way the ecosystem works. Okay, it's all pretty much a scientific algorithmic puzzle that it's trying to solve in order to work properly. Um, so I try to, when people say crypto isn't real, I just kind of like I brush that statement off, and then I kind of try to educate them on as to, like, crypto is as real as you make it. Okay. Um, just like you were saying with the senses. When you look at an object, you can't sit there and say that that object is real until you in your mind know that it's real, right? But you can't sit there and specifically say, yeah, that object is real until physically you put your finger on it, and that's when you become that's when it becomes the reality, right? And so that's pretty much what it's like with cryptocurrency. Yet you can't physically hold the crypto itself, but at the same time, when you're taking physical money out of your pocket and putting it into this algorithmic sequence and allowing it to compute its numbers and generate maybe a profit or maybe even a loss, right? Depending on where you sell it. But you are very much making it real. Because A, like you said, believing in it. That's why you invest. You obviously wouldn't invest if you didn't believe in something. You wouldn't be like, oh, I freaking hate this thing. You know what? $1 million in it. No, that just doesn't happen, right? So reality is like a real deep subject, like a real deep subject. And when you're dealing with reality, you have conscious and subconscious. Like inside your conscious mind, you know these things are real, but your subconscious, doesn't allow you to accept the fact that it's real until you physically make contact with it. And that's just the way life works. It's obviously not going to be able for point for us to touch physical cryptocurrency, right, for a very long time until either that or until people start 3D printing like plastic tokens and
Well, I
you know,
mean, you can
so
touch
but
the
but but what
representation of
but
a
what I'm
Bitcoin.
saying is what I'm trying to get at is reality is only perspective and consciousness. Okay, so if you want to say cryptocurrency isn't real, but you put money into it, then you're very well being conscious about your decision of putting money into it. So you're consciously making that real, is what I'm trying to get at. And that's pretty much all I want to say is about that. Is like crypto is very real. It just depends on how real you want to make it or not. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing as the paper dollar. Um, the paper dollar is only worth $1, but you get a ton of them and it's worth a ton of dollars, right? And that thing was just created on a fluke, on a number system, same as cryptocurrency, just in a different in a different environment, in a different format. That's the word I was looking for. In a different format. So yeah, that's pretty much all I want to say about that. I mean, if you really want to get technical, uh, phones have been around since like the late 1800s, right? And I believe Nikola Tesla actually created some of the very first international uh I could be very wrong about this because I know that wasn't Thomas Bell that created a telephone or something like that, right? And I think he created the very first like rotary phone or something like that. And but anyways, uh Nikolai Tesla, I know though, did create like Wi-Fi um during his time period. And I knew I know for a matter of fact that with that technology they were able to create satellite phones, early as the World War One and World War Two. Having satellite phones out there on the battlefield to talk to base and stuff like that. So I mean, cell phones have been a thing of quite a long time. So is the internet itself, honestly. Um, but people, the general public just never had really had the access to it because, governments harnessed that technology for a long time. The capabilities to create and distribute that technology. They harnessed all that stuff, and it was not for a good cause at all. Yeah. Oh, Alexander Graham Bell. Yeah, I completely agree. Well, I mean, that's obvious. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. My dogs are going crazy.
So, as I was saying before, for some reason the mic
I
muted
would.
itself.
I personally would much rather use something that cannot be manipulated, regardless.
Yeah, so
Obviously,
I'm gonna go over that again real quick because for some reason OBS muted me again for no reason. But what I essentially was trying to say before it did that, because and I have no idea how long it had done that, and I don't know why it was like that. But what I was saying, if anything I was saying was ever heard, was that which would you rather prefer to use? Would you rather prefer to use something that is tangible, or would you rather prefer to use something that has the ability to have its fundamentals change? Would you rather something be always what it is and what it's supposed to be, or would you rather somebody be able to change what it represents at any point in time with essentially zero say so from you? Because you don't have any say so, no matter how rich or how poor you are, unless you're involved, essentially in some form politically within any type of government. That's the only time that you're going to have any say so essentially as to what can happen with that currency if you're involved with that specific department. So, and that's being really broad about what I'm saying. But what essentially I'm saying is when Bitcoin was created, that's it. There's no changing what Bitcoin is. Bitcoin is Bitcoin. Ethereum's Ethereum, Doge is Doge, Cardano's Cardano, XRP is XRP. There's no changing what those are. The whole reason why we have other crypto instead of just Bitcoin is because other people saw Bitcoin, agreed with what Bitcoin is, but thought that it could be improved upon. And that's why you have Ethereum. That's why you have Cardano. That's why you have all of these other types of cryptocurrencies. Is because other people believe in the idea of what cryptocurrency is, and then they have their own adaptation of what their perception of what cryptocurrency should be. And that's the whole reason why we have tokens. That's the whole reason why we have all these different types of smart contracts. That's the whole reason why we have all these different types of cryptocurrencies, why you can do yield farming, why you can have reflections, why we have what we call gas fees. If you were to go and talk to a person about a gas fee that's not involved with vehicles, they're not going to understand what you're talking about if they're not involved with cryptocurrency, because to the general perception of people who use motor vehicles, anything that you refer to in the regards of gas, they're going to think it involves some kind of fossil fuel based component for a mechanism, like a car. So when you bring up the term gas, people generally don't actually understand, if they're not involved with crypto, what you're talking about, if you're not talking about a motor vehicle or something else that requires a fossil fuel of some kind. And so that's essentially where we're at right now. If you were to go and talk to anyone back in the 1850s about the telephone, um, you know, no one would know what you're talking about. Why? Because no one knows about the telephone. The telephone, the from what I read, essentially the first time that it was even created was in the 1860s. So it goes to show you right there that it didn't even become a reality until, like the late 1850s to 1860s. But somebody had the belief in the 1840s about the idea of the telephone, and that's the whole reason why we have the telephone now. If it wasn't for, if it wasn't for that, then we wouldn't have the telephone. We wouldn't have many of the things that we have today. And so, which would you rather have? That's the main question. Would you rather have something that it's always going to be what it is, and then you can be a part of that and help determine what the price of that is going to be, even if it's only by a small fraction? Because you have to realize that cryptocurrencies is similar to stocks in the way that you're buying a portion of it because you believe in that. You believe in cryptocurrency, or you believe in that company for stocks. And so when it comes to that, that's the whole reason why you're investing, is because you're believing in something. So when it comes to you investing in, let's say, like Walmart or something, right? You believe that Walmart is always going to maintain being the best chain for groceries and other goods, right? And so you know it it comes down to, that belief. And then with stocks, you are able to buy into the fact that other people believe in it, and you get a certain level of determining factor of the valuation of that company. You get to say, all right, I believe this company is worth this amount as well, right? And because the what you do is you take the total amount of the stocks, right? And then that's essentially what people value the company at. They value it at $1 billion, $2 billion, whatever, right? That's what they value it at. And so you are a part of that determining factor. That's why if you were to, sell out, and then a whole bunch of other people sell out, that means that a lot of y'all don't believe that that's the value of that company for that, for that specific reason. And that's why the price goes down. And no, it's no longer a company that's worth $2 billion. It's only worth $1 billion, we'll say, right? If there's like a 50% correction, that means that, 50% of the people that were invested are saying we don't believe that that's what it's worth. And that's how cryptocurrency is. When it comes to cryptocurrency, the price determination is based upon what it is that other people believe in with it. So if other people believe that Bitcoin is worth 60K, and more people believe that Bitcoin is worth 60K, then Bitcoin will eventually, at some point, reach 60K, because people believe in it. They've created the idea that Bitcoin is worth 60K. Thus, it will happen eventually. The only reason why it is that you end up seeing things not end up being at the value that many believe it at is generally due to manipulation from institutions when it comes to bigger things, and that's something else that we're going to be talking about on the show here later on. But so it's one of those things to where you have to sit back and say, is crypto something that you believe in? And if it is, that's what's making it move forward. It's individuals believing in something together as a community, as a society, and that's what pushes us forward. So everyone's like, oh, this is a scam, or this is that, or XYZ. In reality, I think that when it comes to Bitcoin, I think Bitcoin is great, just like all other cryptocurrencies. But at the end of the day, it's going to end up being old technology. And in a way, you can already say that it's kind of like old technology, because we already have two different types, right? We have, or not necessarily only two different types, but we have proof of work and proof of stake, right? And so you have those two different types of backing for the crypto itself. And so, that just goes to show you that we've already come into a point to where there's a different type of cryptocurrency, so to speak. And so you're going to watch cryptocurrency evolve over time irregardless. You're going to see cryptocurrency take over irregardless. It's a time thing. You're not going to ever see it just disappear, because it's been created. And it's been created into a way that essentially the only way that it could no longer exist is if like we literally wiped it off of all of the internet in the entire world. We would have to wipe it off of the face of the planet essentially, and it would have to be done essentially like manually. We would manually have to erase it from our existence. So when you ask if it's real or not, that's what I'm. It's real. If it requires work for you to remove it, it's real. It's something that's tangible. If you have to work on your car to make it work, it's real. You had to put your existence into something to make it continue. And that's what makes the difference.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I don't know where else to go from there because I mean, you pretty much hit the nail on the head with that one right there, man.
Well, I suppose we can go ahead and take a look at the market, and I'll just stop ranting for a little while.
I mean, it's just that's just you've hit the nail on the head. Like there's just nothing really much more to touch down on because you done really just laid it out there. And it's awesome. Appreciate that because I mean, it's all facts. It's all truth. So
Yeah, so I guess we'll go ahead and then we'll move forward with what the market's looking like right now. I'll go ahead and I'll bring up Bitcoin, and we'll go ahead and take a look at it on the chart right now and see how it's doing today. Um, and then we'll go from there. So right now we're currently sitting today at 32,700. We went up to a high of almost 34,000. This is coming off of the heels of our tremendous dip from 36,000 down to 28,800. We had, as you can see from the chart, we had tremendous support at that level because we only shot back up to essentially what people are a lot more comfortable with right now, which is a $30,000 Bitcoin. No one wants to see Bitcoin in the $20,000 range. The chart says that. That's what the chart says. The chart tells me that people don't believe that Bitcoin is worth absolutely any less than $30,000 because it couldn't maintain being under $30,000 for very long. You know, this is just that's where we're at over the past few days. The past few days at the beginning of
I really think that the whole thing with China banning the Bitcoin mining rigs and the whole fleeing from China of Bitcoin companies. I think that really has something to do with a lot with the price fluctuation right now. I agree with you though that people don't believe that it should be under 30,000. I personally think a $30,000 Bitcoin is pretty stable. Like if we kept it around that price, not really so much 30. Let's go like a little higher. Like in between the 30 and 60 range. I say that's a pretty stable price for Bitcoin to rest at. I would definitely still invest anytime it got under 60, obviously. But I definitely agree that, this is
So you believe that Bitcoin's worth way more than 60? Because if you believe that you should invest at anything under 60, you're saying that you believe that Bitcoin's worth what, at least 120? Is that what you
yeah,
think?
personally, I think Bitcoin's worth about 150 to 300 grand a coin. That's what I personally think it's worth. Why? Because it's a great store of value and a perfect place to micro invest and dollar cost average. That is one good place, especially when the trading starts picking up heavy again and the prices go bonkers where it goes from 32 to 39 to 46 to 41 to 49 to You know what I'm saying? 44 to 56, back down to 51. Then it's up to 52, bounces in between there for a couple of minutes, and then it drops down to like 48 because people are selling or something. Like those are really good times to really dollar cost average, especially when like if it drops from like 40 to 34,000 or something. That's a really good time to dollar cost average. So I mean, right now we're really getting that. I feel we're getting that kind of discount is to where people bought in at 60. Right now is their chance to kind of regain their balance if the market does go back up to 70, 80, whatever it may rest at. Who knows what the future holds, especially with everything coming in so fast. Oh my God. The technological world moves so quick. But with everything that's going on, I would have to say, Bitcoin in my head is worth like 150K. Yeah, easy. And it's mostly because that's the way of being able to create a retirement fund without having to go to a bank and pay all sorts of extra fees.
Right. Yeah, I think you know, I think crypto is much better than pretty much anything else that we have out there. I think Bitcoin, not necessarily just Bitcoin, but I think crypto as a whole, I think it's going to be what ends up changing how we continue moving forward as a society.
Well, I mean, it really has already and started when initially crypto was first invented. And crypto has been around for actually quite some time. Cryptography is actually what cryptocurrency really is, right? In a nutshell. Not necessarily what it is, but that's like the core basics of understanding cryptocurrency and the basic roots to it. Not necessarily cryptocurrency itself, but the basic roots that lead up to what creates a cryptocurrency. And cryptography has been around for quite a long time. Um, Cryptocurrency was actually toyed around with back in the 90s a couple times. They they tried to create and tinker with a currency that was able to be transferred online back in the 90s, and it didn't succeed so well. So when Bitcoin first came out, it pretty much created that trend already off rip, and a lot of people got in early, a lot of people didn't believe in it, so they stayed away. And yeah, so I mean that's pretty much where we're at with that. And then people got in too late. But these kind of prices right now and coins like Bitcoin itself are very good examples as to how you can be able to just invest a little bit of money and then at the same very token of time, when it gets down lower than where you initially jumped in, you can drop a little bit more money and bring your bag up, but your dollar cost down. So I just really enjoy seeing the crypto market at these prices. I don't like. I enjoy seeing it because it's shopping time. Do I have the money to spend? No, but it's shopping time right now. This is like a Black Friday for the crypto market,
Yes, let's
and
let's go ahead and see how Ethereum's looking. We'll go ahead and see how it's looking for the day.
well, I hated Ethereum, man. Really, I did at the beginning of this year.
Yeah, I know
Just
you were a huge Ethereum hater initially in the beginning, and then yeah, you really warmed up to it in
I
comparison to
won't
how you
say
were before.
hater. I won't say like a hater. Like I wasn't on there like just straight, dissing it, but I was talking shit about it because of the gas fees. Like how they need to fix the gas fees. At least give us a break there. You know what I'm saying? Or create some kind of way to where we have an option to, be able to figure out a way around the gas fees or cut them in half or something. And so that was like really what was really bothering me. Now, I didn't really hate Ethereum. Okay. No, I just disliked the network and the way the network operated for a very long time there until I actually started understanding it a little more. And not that there's nothing that I didn't understand about it at first that I don't now, but just to understand how it works a little better made me warm up to it. And to see the fact that they're actually, their network itself is one of the leaders when you really start comparing things. In the blockchain industry, Ethereum's pretty much got stuff on lock. And so that's what really made me warm up to it itself. Didn't make me rush out and go buy Ethereum or anything, but I really warmed up to the network due to the fact of the matter of what you can actually create within um, within the Ethereum virtual machine. So that was what really drew me into it. I really enjoy all the stuff that's going to be able to be created through that Ethereum virtual machine. Same as like what Project Alonzo is
Ethereum
um, for
or
ADA,
Cardano, yeah. I don't know
for
why
Cardano.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Same as what Project Alonzo is for Cardano is what the Ethereum virtual machine pretty much is for Ethereum's network.
So a little
And
off topic, but apparently Israel is going to be making, I think it's called their shekel. They're going to be having something about they're going to have something about that a digital shekel on the on the Ethereum network.
I knew it was going to happen, man. It's a matter of time before the government start adapting to all this. And go figure, Israel is going to be one of the very first, one of the most richest countries in the world. In retrospect.
I mean, it just
Not
goes to show that I mean, we were just talking the other day on one of the other streams about how the adoption's going to come over time, you
Oh,
know.
it's gonna happen, and it's just the reason being is because people see the technology that it brings, man. The stuff that you can do with blockchain technology is just astronomically insane, man. It's nuts what you can do and what you can achieve with a blockchain. Just Okay, so you remember how, what was it? All right, so remember how all those big fancy buildings started burning down a couple years ago, like Notre Dame and stuff like that?
Yeah, I remember that. That was actually pretty crazy.
Yeah, so remember all the stuff that was in there? Like, what was that one building that burned down? I think it might have been in London or something like that, but it was like full of all like original records or something. I don't know if you
Historical
remember.
documentation.
No, 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 no. Like original music records or something like that. I can't remember. And it was like, I don't know. I'd have to look it up, but it was freaking crazy, dude. Like some of the very first creations of music, like from like, hold on, let me look it up, because it was just wild. Like, all that stuff right there, those records of those being, in existence could have been stored on blockchain, and all that music could have been stored on blockchain, right?
Well, here, so
And
we do need to think about it when you're talking about it from a historical aspect, right? So when you're talking about it from a historical aspect, there wouldn't necessarily be any you know anything left behind from our civilization as a whole if if human civilization went out and then was later on discovered, because blockchain is, it's still an internet technology, and all of that would go away in the event that all of internet went away. um but I can say that moving forward, in the sense that society continues as it always has been doing, then most certainly blockchain is one of those things that we should keep things that
internet's never going anywhere. So that's kind of obsolete. That's irrelevant because this is the way of the future. Like, regardless if it's here or on another planet. So
No, what I'm saying is in the sense of what I'm saying is in the sense of, if humanity were to die out before it became a multiplanetary species, all the things about crypto, along with other things, involving the internet, would no longer exist. Just because, it's a digital platform, and so if there's no one to maintain it, once we're all gone, then it would disappear as well, almost instantly. Because once all systems shut down from humans not maintaining them, then it would disappear, because there would be no, there would be no memory kept of it after a certain point of time. You know what I'm saying?
well, yeah,
But
obviously. I mean, if
but
there's
what you're
no
talking
humans to run it, of course.
Yeah, but what you're saying is, like, as we continue as a civilization, and I agree with you, is that blockchain technology is the best, because we can use blockchain technology for so much more than just only crypto. But you can use crypto to power other types of blockchain technologies, right? It's just like
Yeah.
NFTs. We can use NFTs for so much more than just digital forms of art, or of other things.
Well,
We can use
see.
NFTs for, NFTs could easily be used for driver's license. It could be used in the medical field. And this is coming from like a medical professional about the medical field. They're saying that, NFT technology is actually something that the medical field could use, like when it comes to, like certain types of paperwork, that would be extremely beneficial for them. When it comes to, having tickets for events, NFTs is actually way more secure than the current standard for any kind of event that involves having a ticket, because we hear all the time about there being issues about people going to any type of event, and somebody else came in before them with essentially a duplicate ticket, and even though their ticket is the real thing, they're not able to get in, or both people are able to get in, and now they're fighting over seats because two people are trying to sit in a place that's meant for one, for example. And so NFT technology, blockchain technology omits those type of issues, because whenever someone was to, for example, go to any type of event and we're using NFT ticketing systems, there's no way that somebody could have two of the same ticket, in the regards of, after, like, if they mint, like, let's say they were going to do it for a basketball game, and they minted 20,000 NFTs of that ticket, and each, obviously, it would be made in a way to where each one has its seat and everything like that. It would have to be a system made for it. But what I'm saying is once any of that's kinked out, everyone would then be able to buy that and be able to have their seat. If somebody tries to come in claiming that oh, well, here it is, that's kind of almost a impossibility, right? Because it's on the
Well,
blockchain.
no,
It's
not
in it.
necessarily with the NFTs. No, with the NFT technology. Okay, so
Well,
the only way to actually put some real technology behind your NFT is to program a smart contract with it.
what I'm
Okay?
saying though is that you're going to have providers that will have their own, like you would have your own, they would have their own platform, right? The NBA, for instance, would have their own platform for those NFTs. They would have their own NFT platform, and that's where you would get your tickets. When you go up there and you show on your phone on their app platform your ticket, that's what I'm meaning by secure, because you're going to be using their platform. You're going to be using what's titled under their NFT. Nobody can go in and fake that, because they're not going to be like, oh, show me a picture of the NFT. They're going to be like, I need to see it in your wallet. You know what I'm saying? You would open the wallet on your app for the
Yeah,
NBA.
not necessarily. No, that there's ways that they would not say, oh, I need to see it in your wallet.
Well, you got to remember,
Q,
that would be your NBA, because what I'm saying is that if they had their own platform, you would have your own wallet for
oh,
that platform, and that wallet only consists of your ticket,
no,
NFTs.
that's yeah, but that's too much work. So they would just do like QR scanners to avoid that. And how it would be identified is the same way as how they do it in Atomic Hub. When you upload NFTs onto Atomic Hub and you mint them, every single one gets a different asset ID number. So the only way that somebody could ever go forge, like an NFT and try to, essentially have the same exact ticket as anybody is there's a way, obviously, because NFTs are essentially just gifts, right? But in order to create that, but when you do launch it on these networks like Atomic Hub or OpenSea or Mintable or Rareable or something like that, it produces a contract for it, so it does give it existence on the blockchain, right? But the only thing is the only way that somebody can ever do that is to take that same ticket and kind of like manipulate the slightest little tiny thing, or even add some kind of like a filter to it with like the smidge of the smallest amount of the filter on there, just to kind of, make it a little slight different, and then they might be able to get away with uploading it onto the blockchain. But once an NFT is essentially launched, if another NFT tries or somebody tries to upload the same exact image as an NFT, I assume that I'm pretty sure that it gets flagged. Like I had a picture that somebody sent me one time a little recently ago, and it was a microphone. I thought it was a picture that they had done, and I didn't really know, so I just kind of threw a filter on it and slapped it up, right, and made it a free NFT. Well, come to find out, it got flagged for having like stolen material, which was the picture, because it was found in a Google search. And I was like, holy crap, I didn't even know that, or else I wouldn't even posted it. And I was like, the drop's live, so I can't really do much now, um, but yeah, so I got unwhitelisted at Atomic Hub apparently, and that disappeared. But still, it's like non-fungible token. Okay, that's what an NFT is. Non-fungible token is just pretty much the same thing as what a Mona Lisa is, right? The actual painting of Mona Lisa. Mona Lisa is an NFT. The very first painting, Picasso paintings, NFTs, all that stuff is NFTs, man. Non-fungible tokens. They're a token of appreciation or a token of art that was sold for money. So NFTs have been around for as long as we live. But now that the technology of smart contracts is there, there's so much more that you can do with these NFTs. And
Right.
with the with Solidity in the Ethereum virtual machine, you don't just go in there to program tokens. You go in there to program dApps, you go in there to program NFTs, you go in there to program everything. So with the NFT market, I mean, it just, dude, NFTs are pretty cool, but like everything's an NFT. Everything. Um, Essentially, and if you want to look at it, in like a big nutshell, like anything, a drink is an NFT. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a non-fungible token. Obviously, it's got value or whatever, but once when you buy it, you're paying money for it, and essentially it's like a non-fungible token almost. It doesn't produce any value. It just gives you, quenches your thirst. Essentially. But yeah, so non-fungible tokens, man. That's all that is. Now with the contracts backing them, though, there's way much more like yielding, farming, staking, being able to collect cryptocurrency from staking them. So just way too many opportunities going on, man. Way too much.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why there's so many people that are saying, you're not going to get another opportunity like this anytime soon. And I mean, there's a specific reason as to why. I mean, you look at ADA. I mean, you could have bought it at $1 yesterday. You could have bought it at $1 on my birthday, everyone. You could have bought
Oh,
it for a
yesterday was
dollar.
your birthday? I didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
Uh,
shoot. Happy birthday, man.
but you could have bought it for $1. So I mean, it's just like, before that, a few days before that, it was at $1.45, and then now it's sitting at $1.21. So you already would have made essentially like a 20% gain had you have bought at like 8:30 on on a Tuesday yesterday. So, I mean, it's just like you gotta sit here and you gotta be smart about this. You gotta see what's going on. And one of the reasons as to why it is that we're seeing this, and we're actually going to bring it up, is what is going on with the SEC or the SEC. Let me re-say that. Sorry. Um, And what it is they came out and they have a ruling for the NCSS 002. And essentially what that is it makes it to where hedge funds pretty much no longer have the ability to short companies into oblivion. And
No.
yeah, so new, NSCC rule change poised the in short squeeze saga. Despite having ties to regulatory bodies, it seems that some market makers have become too much of a headache. On Wednesday, market makers, which are the DTCC clearing members, have will have to tighten up their short selling belts because their able capital will be contrasted more frequently with member deposits. Their ability to maintain massive short positions is slated to be crippled. Current state of the AMC GME saga. In case you haven't yet grasped the basic of short selling, here's a brief recap of the basic indicators. All right, and if that's something that you want to go over, you can go ahead and pause right here and take a look. But the NSCC clamps down on market makers' power to short sell. The last time the tokenist covered the AMC saga, short sellers nearly lost $1 billion in a week. In the meantime, regulatory bodies have been participating or preparing for the AMC/GME short squeeze fallout, bringing in new rules that would soften the blow to options clearing corporation clearing members. This time, new important rule put forward by NSCC, one of the DTCC's 5 clearing corporations, may be the one marked to wind down the short saga squeeze. The proposal identified in SR NSCC 2121002 was submitted by National Securities Clearing Corporation on March 5th, but it will make an immediate effect tomorrow, that being today. The rule tweaks supplemental liquidity deposit requirements. As you may recall from the previous coverage, the mission of clearing members, numbering at 4,000, is to provide liquidity into the stock market so that trades can be settled in due time without market disruptions. Okay, and so the NSCC also has the authority to close any, or hold on, I'm trying to pull up the exact spot. Essentially, what they're talking about on here is, they have the ability to liquidate short positions now. Because what they're going to do is, I'll actually go ahead and bring up the other document, the DTCC documentation. But on June 21st, 2021, NSCC received regulatory approval for the proposed rule change of what we were talking about. The changes are described in full detail. Filings include calculating and collecting the applicable SLD each business day rather than only on the monthly option settlement periods, calculating the SLD based on observation member activity rather than on historical and forecast settlement activity, adopting a intraday SLD calculation and collection where applicable, first on the first business day of the monthly option settlement periods based on additional exposures that are presented by options activity submitted at the start of the day. So here's the thing. Essentially what they're going to be doing effective today, so basically when today started, you know, there's gonna there all these hedge funds and all these institutions are essentially being watched minute by minute on their positions. And if they have, because what they're doing is what these hedge funds are doing is they're taking, leverage. They're taking massive leverage, and then they're shorting these companies to oblivion. And the whole reason why it ends up being okay for them is because they end up destroying the company and making a massive amount of money, and they never end up getting liquidated because of that leverage. And so what this essentially is doing is it's putting a cap on that. It's reducing their ability to short companies that have, basically no reason to be shorted into oblivion. It's stopping that from being able to happen. And essentially, if their position falls into a certain state and they don't pay, I think it was like if they don't pay the leverage off within, I think it's like 1 hour. They have 1 hour to pay off the leverage on the short to maintain the position. Otherwise, it's going to be auto liquidated, period. And this is for hedge funds and institutions. And so that's going to make it to where, it's gonna reduce that buying pressure on the stock market, but not only on the stock market, but on crypto as well, because of what it is. In order to any exchange where there's the ability to have options, hedge funds are not essentially allowed to try and just make things plummet down to zero. They don't have that option anymore. They don't have the ability to do what they were doing before anymore. Now there has to be more reasoning for companies to essentially get shorted into oblivion. That's essentially what's going on with that. And so, this is actually something that's really good for crypto, and that's one of the reasons why it is that if we go back over here to the chart, this is the reason why it is that you see this bounce, is because they're losing that ability. That's the whole reason. That's the whole reason why you didn't see it go down farther is because they don't have the power that they had before to do what they were doing. That doesn't mean that they're not still powerful. They're institutions and hedge funds. They still got plenty of power, but it means that they're going to have to work harder to try and short companies into oblivion. That means that they actually got to have the money now to do it to a certain standpoint. They can't just try and have like, millions of dollars in leverage and then not be able to actually, and with no they have no ability to pay off that leverage if something was to happen. But since they have the power over what retail investors think that they have, they think they just try and push them out until they short companies into oblivion. And this is making it to where retail investors are now realizing that as a community, we have way more power and way more money than these hedge funds and these institutions. Retail investors, we actually have the ability to determine the price more so than these bigger corporations. It's when you sit here and you have these people that sell out because they're scared. It's because of the fear that ends up creating these serious downtrends. You see that initial spike downwards, and that's the bait to try and make people sell. And then when people do, that's when it ends up turning into an event. And so this is this NCSS 002. That's essentially putting a halt onto that.
Yeah, that's good though. We needed that. Honestly, not even gonna lie, it's about time. Now, you like the company I was trying to say earlier. I think it was maybe about stocks. I don't know. I ended up getting manipulated, not manipulated, but in the market the way it worked is the company went out, right? So I ended up buying 160 shares of this company. It was only for pennies, it was a penny stock. So it really doesn't matter to me. But at the same token, I lose 160 shares because it got shorted into oblivion.
Right.
So, and now I'm screwed out of 160 shares, which was probably about $4 at the time. But, I don't get that money back. And that's where I'm at with
Right.
that. So yeah, it sucks. It's a good thing though that the SEC has finally stepped in and actually done something about this. Because for a long time there, people were pointing fingers at them like they were involved.
Right. So I guess we'll
And
go ahead and we'll move on to the next topic about this Freeton and yield farming. So DeFi developers see new stablecoin powering cheaper transactions and stronger yield farming. A decentralized finance developer sees a summer of growth as new projects promise speed, affordability, and connectivity. With decentralized finance growing fast enough that mainstream financial companies are taking notice, it's a good time to be able to offer an alternative to Ethereum. The platform on which most DeFi businesses is built, Ethereum, is struggling under its weight, compounded by the explosive growth of NFTs. Ethereum is proving too slow and far too expensive to handle DeFi as congestion drives the per transaction gas fees through the roof. Which is why a project like Freeton that says it can offer not only faster and cheaper transactions, but room to grow without running into trouble is in a good place. Freeton rose from the ashes of Telegram's Ton blockchain project after U.S. regulators forced the messaging app firm to walk away. Uh, that left Freeton developers with a very decentralized project, uh, a state many competitors in the DeFi space are working towards. And with the dynamic shard technology that creates new shards, essentially mini blockchains for specific smart contracts subdivided by the master blockchain as needed. Its developers say that it can handle thousands of transactions per second and has plenty of scalability to spare. It is, as they say, the fastest decentralized protocol available, and that before the Freeton stablecoins set for release this summer gives the blockchain the capability to make even microtransactions affordable, faster, cheaper, and stabler. A partner to the Ton Crystal token, Freeton stablecoin, will be one of the most important additions in the development, or in what developers say um, is shaping up to be a very significant summer for the protocol, backed 100% by locked ether. The stablecoin will offer liquidity providers the possibility for stronger returns. More importantly, the stablecoin represents the deployment of true two-layer solution that can solve the cost and speed issues that must be overcome, vital if DeFi is to be successful. Development into financial model it was intended to be. According to Ton Labs, the core developer for Freeton project, with costs even lowered even more and speeding up dramatically, developers say that the new stablecoin will make very small payments feasible, opening up significant microtransaction use case like payments, royalties, e-gaming. It also opens up to the ability to handing reoccurring subscriptions. So, I mean, if you want to read more of this article, here's the rest of it. But I'm going to go ahead and hop over here onto the Tons Open Network. And we're just going to kind of, go over their website. It's the toncoin.org. And, we'll just kind of briefly go over this. But essentially, the next generation blockchain maintained an open source community. They've already launched the Ton blockchain. Ton payments are 90% ready. Ton proxies are 75% ready. Their DNS is 90% ready. Storage is apparently at 50% ready, and their services have already been launched as well. The Ton commandments: exchanging value should be as easy as exchanging information in blockchain technology. Ideally, service the purpose. With this goal in mind, we worded the key principles of Ton's design and development: speed and scalability, intuitive user interface, and decentralization. Speed and scalability is to process millions of transactions per second. Millions. These people are trying to hit millions of transactions per second, accommodating an ultimate number of active users and sustaining operations of numerous apps. Intuitive user interfaces to to make blockchain about people, not geeks and nerds, and to everyone buy, store and transfer assets in a convenient and familiar way. Decentralization to ensure reliability, stability, and safety, and to take steps towards a safer, self-governed world. And so, they started in 2018. They got, they started having their issues with the SEC back in 2019. And then March of 2020, Telegram threw the towel in. It's battered with the U.S. regulators that prohibited the assurance of Graham. Also, resistance appeared to be futile. Telegram, and then May of 2020, Telegram team shuts down the project, stops supporting the testnet 2 after obtaining a court order approval of settlement that involved a penalty of the penalty of 18.5 million. Yet Telegram has neither denied nor accepted charges. And so you see, they've had some issues, you know, and apparently, they have now gone into having, their test network too, and it remains stable. It's been remaining stable for a long time. The community votes in renaming it as the main net, and the Newton team in turn has renamed as Tond Foundation, a not-for-profit community focused on further support and development for the team network. And so we can see that total coin supply looks like it's at 5 billion. I think that's BN. I'm pretty sure that's billion. Uh, Apparently, the amount of users is 70,000. POW givers holdings is 73 million. Validators who are staking is 112 million. And then the foundation's holding is 18.9 million. So the Ton coin uses, as the ecosystem expands, we can see a huge potential for the Ton coin and numerous ways for it to work in the new economy. We expect to go beyond a means of payment. Stakes deposited by validators to be eligible to validate transactions and generate new blocks and coins. Voting power to support and oppose changes in parameters to the protocol. Incomes slash gas paid to validator nodes as reward for processing transactions and smart contracts under the POS consensus. Loans to validators extended against a share of their reward. Payment for services and options implemented by Ton Services, Ton Storage, Ton DNS, so on and so forth. In particular, by bypassing censorship, storing data, hiding identity, and using blockchain-based domain names. So, I mean, when it comes to this to the Ton network, right? I think that they can be a promising project. I think it's something that we have to keep our eye on, and I think that it's something that I might be looking at investing into later on. It just might depend. I'm gonna do some more research before I do. Um, you know, that's just it's a pretty interesting network to have come up on. Moving on, though, we'll go ahead and go into this thing called crypto gaming. And what I mean by that is there is a project called Project Quantum. And it's actually pretty interesting. So we'll go ahead and we will pull that up. Big budget games face a battle from this crypto powered startup. AAA games refer to video games with the biggest budgets, and now a project developing a title is powered by crypto. Aside from the play to earn opportunities this creates with crypto prizes on offer in tournaments, gamers will be able to trade their tokens with others and exchange coveted in-game items with others. The game, which has been the working title of Project Quantum, aims to bring AAA into the 21st century. Developers are confident that there will be some big advantages for players too. Quantum's founder, Fraser Gordon, says that gaming has long been a big part of his life. However, one of his biggest complaints lies in how every game has its own currency. In time, his vision is to ensure that a number of titles use the same digital asset, meaning value can transfer seamlessly on an ecosystem from ecosystem to ecosystem. Uh, a gripping game. Quantum Works' new approach to gaming extends beyond tokenomics. The project believes there's a gap in the global marketplace that is desperate to be filled with fairness. Customer satisfaction is two of their top priorities. Project Quantum brings together the studio's unique IP. With Unreal 5, players can explore open world, put skills through their paces in intense battles, and customize their characters at will. The first person looter shooter encourages players to explore maps in search of valuable artifacts, all as a part of a goal to unlock the unknown secrets of the past. Gamers can cooperate with one another if they believe this will enhance their prospects of glory, or fight it out to claim the spoils for themselves. And so essentially, it's going over how they're trying to create multi ecosystem economy for gaming. So imagine what they're essentially saying is imagine that you had like FIFA, right? Plenty of people play FIFA, and so they have a type of currency on there. And let's say that you wanted to transfer the money that you've put into FIFA into a different game. Well, obviously there's no way to do that. And so essentially what I'm understanding is that they're trying to build blockchain technology into gaming, so that way you can essentially exchange funds with other games, so that way you can do things that you want to do in those games, uh, with that currency, right? When it comes to games where you actually when you actually put in real money aside from just buying the game or something like that. And there's plenty of gamers out there that are like that. There's plenty of gamers out there that that's exactly what they're gonna they're gonna do. They're gonna be putting their money into that. You think about how this can go into esports. We can see some pretty interesting things when it comes into esports, because if we we can fundamentally change how esports are funded, and we can fundamentally change how rewards in esports happens, right? So we could actually have it to where when we're in a esports competition, we could actually, all you pitch your entry fee in for whatever type of game it is that we're going into that competition for, and then essentially that's how you could end up having the pot for that. And if it's backed by cryptocurrency, and it's something that can be exchanged, then that's how you can have that. That's how you can have gaming have a simpler transition of value during this esports you know revolution that we're having. Essentially, I mean, esports is something that's becoming larger and larger every day. And so I think it's actually really important that we have crypto come into space to try and streamline some of those things, because I mean esports, I mean, it's already technology based. I mean, we're already talking about you know um, something that involves money, and it involves technology, and it's a competition, and so it only makes sense. We have all these trading competitions on exchanges all the time, and things like that. So I mean, it only makes sense that we could take cryptocurrencies and then and blockchain technology and incorporate that into gaming. We can, that's the thing about blockchain technology, is that it's not something that's limited to only um, cryptocurrencies. It's not something that's only limited to the smart contract ecosystem. It's not, none of these things are only limited to what they're at right now. They're just the baby steps that we're taking before we end up taking, those first strides. Those first strides are where we're going to end up having the world as a whole interacting with each other through blockchain technologies. That's when we're going to start taking our first steps. And when we start taking our first steps, and we start having, blockchain technology become more of a norm with specific things, that's when we'll begin to, blockchain technology will begin to run. We've already seen the adoption of blockchain technology exceed many other types of technology. You know and that's the thing about it, is that you take the VCR, for instance. The VCR was one of the fastest pieces of technology to ever be adopted, and we hardly ever use it anymore. And the reason why is because a better technology came out. That's one of the fantastic things about blockchain, is that blockchain isn't something that can be useful for a while. Crypto is not something that can be useful for a while and then it's just going to die out, because we can always build upon blockchain technology. We can always build upon contract technology. And so, with that, that's what makes blockchain different from other forms of technology that we've adopted and then essentially unadopted later on. People generally don't necessarily use CDs. People generally don't go out and buy CDs anymore because they can download, the file onto their iPod or onto their phone. And so there's really no reason for them to go and do that. And many people don't even do that necessarily, because I could just download this app and have a subscription to where I can listen to the specific music that I want to listen to anyways. And so then it's just kind of done through the internet through that means. So we don't really use CD technology anymore. It's still in use, but it's not used like how it was when it ended up getting adopted after cassette technology was deemed to be inadequate. And before cassette technology, we had record players, and then before record players, we had or we had, before we had technological record players, then we had mechanical gramophones. And so you can see like how you can see where there's specific things that there's no there you can't expand upon the use case with that specific thing. It has to be changed in a manner that would technically no longer be that. And that's the reason why we have like a gramophone and then we have a record player, is because they're separate from each other by varying degrees based on what it is that its use cases. And with blockchain technology, we have the ability to we have the ability to change it continuously and never have to leave it behind, because it's such an open foundation. And so that's how you can say that even even though many people don't understand about how blockchain technology works right now, they'll understand soon that blockchain is a lot more than just something that we can use just for this one simple use case, or it's not real because of this type of, it can't do this use case. The only reason why blockchain technology can't do XYZ right now is because we haven't figured out how to make it do XYZ right now. And that's why it's not something that will become unadopted later on, is because it's something that can always be built upon. You can't build upon the rotary phone and it still be the rotary phone. You the you can't you can't compare the rotary phone to, like, a smartphone and then say that they're the same thing. They both have one of the same use cases, but one has way more use cases than the other one ever can. And that's the reason why we no longer use the rotary phone or corded home phones or anything like that, is because we have something that has a better use case. Blockchain technology is something that you can use to always build better use cases. And so we're never going to see crypto go out. We're never going to see blockchain technology go out unless they figure out something that's even better than blockchain technology. And currently, to our understanding, we don't really see anything out there like that. We don't see anything that's better than blockchain technology for use cases. And so that's what makes that big difference, is that blockchain technology has pretty much endless amounts of use cases. It's a matter of whether or not you how you can apply the use cases to that specific thing. So going on into our final topic, we'll just talk about some of the newer projects that we have going on, or not necessarily that we have going on, but that are going on. You've probably heard of them before, you know. But we're gonna go ahead and pull up the coin market cap chart, and we'll go ahead and look at some of the BSC tokens, and then later on we'll go ahead and look at some
Dude,
yield farming and some Solana, and we'll
dude,
go from there.
dude. Let's start off with underdog. I'm about to cry right now. Because I think we may have talked about this before. I'm not sure. But there was supposedly like a big jump in the price, right? Remember? We were
Yeah,
talking about that, me and you personally. Well, ah, this is
yeah,
really
I'm
hurting. This is hurting me to talk about it because when I pull it up on Coin Market Cap, the fucking price hit $320 something $1,000 per coin.
yeah, but look at the total volume for the 24 hours. It was only
Yeah, but
$71,000.
let's just talk about the price. That's freaking insane, okay? Now had I paid attention though, and this is what makes me sick, is if I would have sold out, I probably would have made millions that day. Millions. Because had I just sold half the balance for what the coin was worth, let's say the market cap was there, I would have been sitting on $455 million. Maybe
Yeah,
even more. Yeah, about $456 million, man. And so,
I'm just kind of confused here, right? Because like you look here at 5 p.m. June 10th, right? And it says that it hit the $320,000. Last time when we checked this, it said $11,000. If we go over here to the 7 day, right? Um, hold on, sorry
I'm
about that.
confused too, man, because then yesterday it hit point 0.3 cents. It hit 3 cents, like 0.03. So I was like really confused myself. But had I paid attention and sold out at that very moment, I would have been sitting on millions of dollars. Even yesterday, if I had sold out a half of my bag, I would have been sitting on $90 on a $30 investment.
Yeah,
So,
I'm just trying to figure out what was going on with it to begin with, you know.
well,
Um,
if you pull it up on PooCoin dot app, um, there's some weird stuff going on with the liquidity. Man, somebody's shooting a gun off over here like crazy.
so let's go ahead and take a look at
Oh,
Underdog.
sound like a whole entire shootout just happened over here. But yeah, dude. So I don't know what was really. Look at that. That is just insane. Now look at the liquidity though. You see the numbers on the liquidity pools over here to your left?
Yeah,
Yeah, they're pretty low.
yeah, that's why I'm trying to figure out, you know, what was going on over here because
Yeah.
it's just not really making much sense. I mean,
Yeah, it's
uh,
not adding up to me.
let's go to the 1 day chart.
To me, it seems like there's something more going on behind the scenes, and not necessarily saying that they're like not. not going to say that they're manipulating charts or anything, right? At all, okay? Or that they have data that's manipulating charts, because I don't know. But what I am going to say is I kind of feel that they got some kind of millionaire or billionaire behind it, and they're like scheduling pump and dumps. But I do know for a matter of fact um, that they got a lot of stuff going on. You know, they're doing pretty good for themselves. I mean, when you go look at their Twitter and their website and stuff. So I'm just hoping it's not a rug pull.
Yeah, I mean, I really couldn't even say anymore at this point, just because the information is so skewed. So let's see what's not doing so hot today. It looks like that Cetify Finance. It looks like they're still down from the last time we had looked. Bridge Oracle. It look apparently they're not doing so hot today, but they have been up by 65% for the week. Um, and realize that a lot of these projects, I'm not invested. I don't know anything about them. I'm just looking at them, right? And you know, there's quite a few that are still down today. Unfortunately, it looks like Cummies unfortunately is not doing so hot today. That one was still fairly unbelievable to me. Um, but
That
Division,
project to me is a fucking shit show.
so Division Network apparently they're on a 50% increase today.
Bro, I'll tell you who's killing it right now. You want to know who's killing it?
Who's killing it?
Mozart, Everrise, Hold Token, and Baby Dogecoin.
Yeah, I was actually hearing something about Baby Dogecoin just today. You know,
Dude, Baby Dogecoin is rocking the market, bro. Absolutely just rocking it, dude. I put, what was it, maybe 50 or 60 cents in the other day, right? This thing has climbed so astronomically
wow.
insane the past couple of days. Look at that chart, dude. Just freaking zooming. My 60 cents is now worth almost $3 right now. So freaking kudos to Baby Dogecoin. They are getting it in right now. What is those liquidity numbers right there?
Let me go ahead and look at. So it looks like the BNB LP holdings is sitting at 37,000. Or no.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's a good
it's sitting
number.
at 37,845 BNB, which comes out to 10 million. So they are doing really well. Baby Doge to USDT LP holdings is at 40,000, and then to BUSD is 198.
Yeah, it says that their 24-hour volume right here in Trust Wallet is 15,371,000. That's pretty crazy. That's insane, dude. I need to start turning on price alerts because if this thing goes to $300,000 a coin, I'm selling some. Jesus Lord.
There's 118,000 wallets out right now, so they are definitely doing rather well. 25% of all of their tokens, or 29%, almost 30% of their tokens was burned.
Hmm.
So that's in their burn address. So
Nice.
that there's that. 30% of the original amount, the initial the initial supply. But yeah, I mean they're doing absolutely fantastic. Let's go ahead and take a look at Hold Token.
Yeah, dude, they're doing pretty good from what I was noticing. It looked like they were kind of down on the chart a little bit, but yeah, it looked like they had some good stuff going on.
Yeah, I mean they're down on the chart right now, but I mean, let's see. I'll bring it out to the 4 hour and we'll see. So I mean, yeah, they're definitely down in comparison to their all time high. Like substantially in comparison to their all time high. I mean, it looks like they got like about nearly 90% of a reduction on that. But I mean,
Right.
but they're currently on a climb right now, and I think it's kind of one of those things that we have to see where it goes. The market cap on it right now is sitting at 13 million. It has 1.3 million in its BNB holdings. So I mean, it's not doing too bad when it comes to how many people are holding. Um, we can see that it's you know about 90,000.
Yeah. I do want to talk about this one though. Man, my lord. Where did they start out at that high? You gotta be kidding me. Why would you start your coin? Why would you try to start your coin out that high?
Which
Like, what do
coin?
you? Mozart finance. Um, to me, I think
What's
they're a
the
relative.
what's the ticker for it?
Well, this one I'll have to send you the contract address because unless it pops up, but it is Melody, Melody. But when I look it up in my trust wallet, I don't think it shows up. So, um, oh, it does. But
I have Melody token, but I don't see a Mozart.
here it's because it's called Melody. So I mean, it might be the right one. Um, it's sitting at 7 cents currently right now, but they started out at 20 cents. Now I don't know if that's a very bold move.
Yeah,
Uh,
they
depending on
they started out.
depend.
If this is the same one, this Melody token,
Yeah,
if that's the
that's the
same
one.
one,
Yeah.
they started out at what it looks like to be about like $13 almost. It looks like they started at almost $13 actually.
Huh, that may not. Let's see. I'm gonna send you this. It might be the right address. It might not be. And
Well,
you
I mean,
can
there's only
check.
47 million in the total supply, so I mean, that is possible.
Yeah, maybe, but I think there was. I just sent it to your Twitter, so if you got that available, check that out. But I don't think that that's the total supply in this one. There's, you know how this works. There's multiple different tokens that create themselves with the same name, etc. You know what I'm saying? Um, let's see if I can see what
Yeah,
the
it's the
yeah
same one.
for okay yeah that's the same one. All right, so $13 is what they started out at. I
Uh,
can't believe
something like that. Yeah,
it looks at well when I look at Coin Market Cap, it looks like
they might have
they're
started out at 15. I'm not
24
sure.
cents.
I'm just telling you what I'm looking at on PooCoin.
Yeah, see these charts are weird, man. Coin Market Cap shows them at 24 cents, and that's the all chart. So, and that's the price of them too. So,
You said on
who?
Coin Market Cap?
Yeah, on Coin Market Cap, they're trending on Coin Market Cap right now,
Hmm.
like the number one trending crypto token on Coin Market Cap in the search. When you click search, first one
Okay.
pops up, and
I think
so
the
that's
I think that it might be something separate. Then I'm not 100% sure.
well, if you take that contract, well, just like it can't. I mean, it could be different. I don't know. They have two coins out. One's called Piano and one's called Melody. So I don't know what's up with Poo Coin. I don't know why it's showing $13, but over here on Coin Market Cap, it shows about 24 cents.
Yeah, I'm not
Is where
sure.
they
I'm not
start
sure
at.
what's going on with them. So,
I'm not sure what's going on with Trust either, man. It's just showing me some crazy numbers. It's making me feel like I'm about to be, sitting on Big Daddy Warbucks over here.
but yeah, so they're sitting at about 7 cents right now, and like you said, it looks like they opened up at about 20 cents.
Yeah, so I'm start using CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko and stuff like that for the charting because I trust them more than I do PooCoin.
Yeah, I think they got some stuff that they got to go and fix if they ever want anyone to use them again.
Yeah, I just think they have some glitches going on. Now token hold though, hold token, but on Twitter they're called token hold. I know that they're doing some pretty gnarly things though, for sure. Like oh, what was it? Oh man, they got like big partnerships coming up, and dang, there was something else I wanted to talk about them, and I forgot. But Everrise is a good one too. I just actually got into Everrise the other day. They're doing really freaking good though. They're doing pretty good. I really like them. I think they
Everrise?
got a Everrise. If you want, I can copy the contract address. They're trending on the search. You click on the search bar, they're like number 3 down.
Yeah, I'm pulling them up right now.
Yeah, they're good. They're a good dude. They got a good, bright future ahead of them. I think that they're going to be doing some pretty good things here. Um, I really like them. I bought in the other day. I got a lot for a little bit. Right now they're not doing like the hottest in my wallet because I don't really have a lot. I didn't really buy a lot of it. But pretty much what they are, it says in the trust is that Everrise token holders are not only rewarded through static rewards, but also through true automatic burns every trade from within the liquidity pool. I just think that they're doing good things. I interacted with some of the community members, and they got a nice, strong, solid community behind them. So
Yeah, I thought
I
I'd go
think
ahead
they're
and pull up a Captain token real quick and just take a quick look at that,
heck
see how they're
yeah,
doing.
Captain. I need to get me some of them crew tokens. Let's check that out. Is there a way while we're sitting here right now? Can you look and find out a way if we can invest in these crew tokens that they just released?
I think it hasn't actually launched yet. Says
Okay.
they
That
want
yep.
everything running perfectly before they launch Captain Swap. Please be patient while everything is sorted out and set up. Remember, um, that one of the captains is also on a boat working while getting Captain Swap up and live for everybody. So that's where it's at right now. So I don't think there's anything that can be done with that.
Okay. All right, cool. Well, that answers that question in case anybody was curious. I was curious myself though, so I needed to ask.
Yeah, not a problem. Um,
Let's
any other
see.
projects that you were wanting to try and look up?
Yeah, there's definitely one. It's called Pangea. Let's try and pull that one up. Pangea Ocean Cleanup. Dude, awesome project. I really like this project.
Is it on
So,
Market Cap or?
it may be. If not, you might have to pull it up on Poo. Pangea ticker is POC. It's the ocean cleanup. No, it's not on CoinMarketCap. Might be on CoinGecko. doubt it. PooCoin would have to be the chart, or BSC scan. Grab the contract.
Yep, they're sitting on looks like a $3.4 million market cap right now,
Yeah, dude,
and
they're awesome though. If you like actually go look up what they're about, man, dude, they're about the ocean cleanup. It's a very good project, solid project. I'm totally interested in getting involved with it.
yeah, it looks like they got 20,000 holders thus far. They've done a 30% burn, which was valued at about $1 million. So, um,
Whoo,
yeah,
that's
so
crazy.
essentially from what I'm seeing, what's like the top wallet of I'm assuming an individual. It looks like the top wallet owns 0.6% of all the tokens, valued currently at $29,000.
Wow, that's not even wow. I'm impressed.
Yeah, they own. Let's see, they own in the nature of 6.1 billion tokens.
Wow.
So there you go. They only own 0.6%, and then it just keeps dropping from there. I mean, uh, you got one, on the first, the 50th wallet, they only own 0.1%. That's the 50th wallet on the top wallet. So
That's ridiculous. What's the price of it sitting at?
currently it's sitting at 0.000004888578. That's currently what it's sitting at right now.
Okay. Yeah, it's kind of a pricey coin, ain't it? For just starting out, eh? It's getting some traction.
I would say it's cheap in comparison to what it was, after that first day.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I see it's dropped quite a bit. Yeah,
Yeah.
they I mean it's still
Let's see. This was
it's
back in May. Yeah. So I mean, had you have bought in May, that's when it would have been expensive.
what was their total supply?
Their total supply is 1 trillion.
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, it looks to me as like they're dropping a little bit though more. They might drop a little bit more. I don't know. Another one though is you won't be able to pull this up there. Um, I don't know if you can do ether coins on there, but there's a Epstein coin.
Epstein.
Yeah, Epstein, like Jeffrey Epstein. But get this, they're fighting human trafficking.
Yeah, I don't think it's on. I don't think it's on here.
No,
Epstein.
it's on EtherScan. You'd
Yeah.
have to go to EtherScan. I don't think they're, and it's on Uniswap. It's an ERC20 token, Epstein token, and they just donated like 10 grand or something like that. I don't know. They made two donations um to Thorn, which is a Ashton Kutcher's human trafficking awareness program. So that's pretty huge. I mentioned something to them inside their Telegram about how they should click up with Clue Coin, since Clue Coin does the $50,000 donations to save our or save the children.
You said it's
So
called Epstein, right?
yeah,
Yeah, I'm not pulling. Not pulling. Hold on. Maybe this one's it.
yeah.
Yeah,
Hold
here
on,
we
let
go.
me.
Here we go. Here we go. I got it
Has
now.
he got a picture of him? It
I'm just
should
look.
have.
I'm looking at the there was two. So I'm looking at what I think is the proper contract. Now they have looks like 69 trillion Epstein's. And there's 2,444 holders. They're on so that's where what I had to do to pull it up. Um,
Yeah, apparently I'm in their Telegram right now. Apparently they're in talks with trying to get listed on Coin Market Cap. So
all right, well then there you go. That's good.
yeah, it sucks that I don't have ETH on my wallet. I definitely really want to get into this project, but
Well, I mean, ETH right now, it's only 24 Gwei, so that's pretty cheap.
yeah, yeah, it's super cheap, but um, it just sucks. I mean, they are listed on CoinGecko. It just sucks that I don't have ETH to go buy into it.
Right.
Like, there's a lot of good Ethereum tokens being dropped right now. So, and the best part is they're using the same implementations as these new BEP20 tokens that are coming out with the
Right.
reflections and things like that nature. So, that's just a few of them. I mean, I have a couple more, but we've already talked about some of them. This other one, Moon Nation token, that's a pretty good project. I support it completely. They're sitting at 0.001 right now.
What are they?
So
What are they? You said
MNG is the ticker. They would,
MNG.
yeah, MNG Moon Nation.
Yep, I got them pulled up right now. They're
Yeah, they're
one tenth
doing
of a
really,
penny. Yeah.
yeah, they're doing really freaking good. But the only issue is 24-hour volume is 4,380. But they're doing really good. There's only 384 million Moon Nation in supply. I won 1,000 of them in a uh
Yeah, there's definitely not a whole bunch, and their market cap is sitting at almost $750,000. So I mean, this project, let's see, they started what is this? June 16th. So I mean, hey, you got seven
no
hundred
yeah
you got $700,000 between now and between the 17th and now. I mean, I wouldn't be complaining, you know what I mean?
yeah no they're doing very relatively well, and they got a good solid team behind them, so that's pretty good. I'm very impressed with it.
All right, one more token, and then we're gonna go ahead and close out the show for the evening.
All right, so one more token that we're going to talk about. It's not really tracking. Let's see. Hold on. Okay. I'm trying to squeeze like two more actually. True XTR is one. They're doing pretty good. It's just a good solid team. I entered in some of their giveaways. They got a good solid dev team. Everything's working great behind them. But the one that I want you to pull up is Wall Street Games. Now, this token is going insane. Wall Street Games is a next generation hybrid blockchain based online gaming platform where players battle each other in fun and addicting, simple games for rewards in cryptocurrencies. This thing is freaking slapping, man.
Yeah, it's
Market
got
cap is
23 million.
yeah, and 1 million 24-hour cap. Circulating supply is 134.
LP's at
Uh,
178,000.
134 trillion is circulating. 997 trillion is the total supply.
Right.
but it seems like this is a good investment. Um, Maybe pray for a dip again, because when I'm looking here on my chart, it's showing that it went from being oh, hold on, that's whoops, it's showing it went from being, you know, 0.0000001, then went to 0.0000002, and it's just kind of resting in there, you know. It seems like on your chart it's kind of a downtrend with a shot up. So it might be a good time to invest right now in that. But yeah. Other than that, I don't know. There's one more if you want to look at it. It's called Matador Token. Keith KO keeps talking about it. And I looked into it the other day, and they're doing pretty freaking good too.
Matador?
Yeah, they're doing pretty good. Pretty
Mad
good.
Token? Is it Mad Token?
MTDR. Matador was created on the Binance chain network with specific tokenomics that were created to divert market manipulators and to stop the rug, set to tax any transfer or sale at a rate of 30%, redistributing those funds to holders, liquidity, and to burn. So, I mean, it's only got a $5,000 24-hour.
Yeah, it's got a $4 million market cap, and it's got $255,000 in liquidity. So I think actually they're doing pretty good when it comes to their liquidity to
Yeah,
market cap
definitely.
ratio.
Keith KO keeps talking about them. So,
Well, definitely something to look into. I might have to orchestrate with you to pick up a couple.
yeah, I got a friend who's been trying to get a hold of me and trying to ask me to pick up some wax. So I got to try to figure a way out to get my buddy some wax. But I might actually hook him up with my friend Darren, because my boy Darren knows better with the wax. Like, I don't know. It's just a whole tedious process. You'd have to send it to my PayPal. Anyways, long story short, those are the tokens we checked out. You know, I think that those tokens that we named are some very promising projects. There is another one that I've been looking into. We'll save that for Friday though. Big news on Friday though. I think we got some very special guests going to be joining us, so that should be fun. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, most certainly. So you've heard it here, everyone. I think we've pretty well covered most of the things that we wanted to talk about today. Um, if you have any other questions or if there's anything you would like to see in the show, go ahead and give us a shout out in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It really helps us out in trying to build up this channel to try and build a proper community to help out new time investors.
We appreciate you guys. Thank you. Thanks for tuning in too.
Have a great night. Crypto Invest out.
Be safe.